Hello, everybody out there in the Frontline universe, and welcome back once again to another Dark Avenger comic book review. You're here with me and Mike.
Hey, guys.
And we are talking about the books that were released on
April 19, 2017.
And as always, this is a live show on Comic Frontline right now. So for those of you that are wondering why we're answering random people from time to time, if we answer random people because we are recording this a bit late.
No,
Not really. Actually, this is around the time where we do Frontline Live. But it is Monday, and it is kind of like an impromptu thing that we do every once in a while. But anyway, if you are watching this later on, it's probably around June on my channel, Dark Avenger C86, which these are all going up on. This is episode 389.
Oh, wow.
Starting next week, the countdown to 400 begins.
Oh, boy. Then that means I got to find the random pictures.
So starting next week, we will be doing the countdown. But we're going to do it a little differently. Instead of doing it at the beginning of the videos, we're going to do it at the end of the video starting next week.
So I got to find 10 and 9, basically?
No, just 10. 10
oh, because you said you were going to do 10 and then 9.
No, because when we finish episode 390,
you mean when you finish?
That was, yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to get the 9.
Actually, no, you're right. We'd have to do it at the beginning still.
That's why.
Forget everything I just said. It's at the beginning. I don't know why. For some reason this morning it just sounded better to say it was to do it at the end. But never mind. It makes no sense. The 0 at the end of 99 is what makes sense. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. So anyway, we got a nice amount of books this week. I put our whole video up yesterday, and just for those of you who are following my haul series as well, I was right. We got the rest of the books.
Yeah.
Came in the mail this afternoon. I called it. I always call it when it comes to Midtown. I know how they do their shipping, and it always happens. For any of the books that I talked about on the previous Dark Avenger comic book haul, which is up now, you'll be seeing them this Saturday. Because I don't care if we get a package from Midtown or not. I'll just bookmark what we got. You'll be seeing that also. I'm rambling too long. Let's get into this week's books. Highlander, The American Dream, issue number 3. I don't know. I guess DCBS got it. Is going to be sending it next week. I know I ordered it from them. It's in my order. Did not come physically to me. So anyway, this was a really fun book this time. We were in 1955 for a very brief moment, and then we come back to present day where Connor is now teaming up with the priest whose name, oh my God, why does it leave me at the moment? Brandt has that name down pat. I always forget. Vasilik. That's right, Vasilik. And I love how he's telling Vasilik, look, I'm not looking to make friends because in the end there's the quickening. We got the uncanny Kyle Walk in the comments. What's up, Kyle? And I like how he's like, look, I'm not here to make friends. You know, in the end, the quickening, we're all going to have to fight, and there's only going to be one in the end, so I'm not looking to make new friends. I just, I'll team up with you. We'll stop Hook, because Hook can't get over the fact that Connor took his eye in the 1800s, I believe, when the First World War in America was going on. So now Connor kind of is responsible for Hook's kind of thing, and it's the standard Highlander, the evil one can't be the last one, so Connor or Duncan, if it was a TV series, have to stop him. They find him. There's a little bit of action, and the book actually ends as the action is beginning. So that means in the next issue we're going to get even more action. Stay tuned. I don't want to get too much more into it. Me and Brent will be talking about it on There Can Be Only One. Like I told you guys, it's going to be a couple of days late, about a week late. I don't know exactly when. I don't want to give you guys an exact date, but we will be covering it more in depth on There Can Be Only One. So stay tuned for that. Now, the next 2 books, I want to make sure they're back-to-back. Yes, the next 2 books are getting honorable. Well, one of them is getting more of a review than the other. Angel, Season 11, Issue number 4. So, what do you call it? Oh, shoot. Why did their name leave me completely at the moment? Anyway, the entity that's taking over Fred. Why am I forgetting names tonight? I'm having a very off night. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. I have only had about 2 hours of sleep between.
I too.
Yeah, but usually I have a nice rest before. Anyway,
go.
So, Ilaria is trying to stop her past self from destroying the planet that they are on, because she finds out all this stuff about the being that she fought and got upset, and this just wiped out all of this demonic race. So she's trying to stop her past self from doing it, but in doing that might erase herself. But her and Angel end up fighting that demonic entity and sending it away, and she goes to find her past self to try to stop her, and they have this interesting conversation. And what happens is the being comes back, and it's up to them to stop. Oh no, the volcano still erupts, which is supposed to wipe out all of that planet, all of the beings. So her and her past self end up trying to stop the volcano, and what happens is it wears her so far out, Illyria, in the present, that she ends up going back into Fred, and she goes into kind of like a dormant stage as she's healing, and it's not even clear if she ever will heal. So the past Illyria sends them back towards the future. However, as you guys can see from the covers coming up, they don't exactly go all the way back to the present day. I think they're going to be ending up right where Illyria was originally going to send Angel, which is his past self, where he has no soul, and kind of get the connection to where that relic is with him. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 11, Issue number 6. Now, this one is getting an honorable mention because I really am not into where the season is right now. I don't like the plot of where they're going, where Buffy is part of this magical camp where all the magical and mythical beings have to stay because the human race is petrified of them. It's basically, think about Days of Future Past, except without the collars. They're just forced to stay in this camp. And I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like Buffy. I mean, I understand it's just a point in the season. It just doesn't feel very much like, the Buffy that I've been reading right along. However, Buffy finds out that the government is planning something in order to drain all of the magic and the mythical magic out of all the beings on Earth, which, number one, gives the government a very, very powerful weapon. And number two, we got Jason Smith in the comments. And number two, some of the magical beings, literally, it is their existence. So to take it away from them is like literally chopping off a limb off of an animal or off a human being. You do it, it takes away something from them. And I'm digging where they're going with this series. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'll be happy when they get away from the camp. Well, now with the next issue, they're planning to escape. So we'll see where that goes. We got MT in the comments as well. Sounds like Infamous 2 and Infamous Second Son. Kind of, sort of, actually. Kind of, sort of, yeah. Now, Plastic issue number 1. I don't know how to feel after reading this book. At first, I felt like I needed soap for my brain. So the main character's girlfriend is a sex doll.
What?
But he believes that she's real. He has conversations with her. And while she's sitting in the car, they end up at a gas station. I'm leaving out the beginning of the book. They end up at a gas station so he could buy a couple of things, food, a brush to clean things and whatever. And these kids are, not kids, they're guys, are at this car and they're flirting with the doll. And it's creepy because, I think they're doing it to be sarcastic, but the guy loses his shit and kind of beats the hell out of them to the point where, he rips a guy's leg open, it breaks a guy's leg, and the bone sticking out, breaks another guy's face.
What were you reading?
I don't know, but he beats the hell out of him. So he's got skills. He's able to he kills for this plastic doll, and then he apologizes because he kind of lost it. And one of the guys that got beat up was the son of this other guy, and he ends up acquiring the main character, his name completely leaves me for some reason. I don't know why, but this book made me want to forget about it for a little while there. And they end up taking the doll prisoner. So this guy who has this very vivid imagination that this doll is real or living, it'd be kind of weird if it ends up that the doll is in some shape or form sentient.
That would be.
But anyway, he's like, if you want your girlfriend back, you have to kill this family, make sure this other family doesn't see a sunrise or whatever. And he's like, now, amazing, I remember the doll's name. For Veronica or Victoria. Oh, no, I don't. It's either Veronica or Victoria. One or the other. For her, I'll do it.
Wagner did write it.
Yes. Matt Wagner wrote it. Mm-hmm. He did write it. Very interesting. I don't know if it's going to be an interesting story or if I should feel dirty for reading it. because of the sex doll. But it's intriguing, and it's a mini series. So I might continue it. Because I'm actually curious where this is going. Believe it or not, I'm actually curious where plastic is going. And Mike Spider Slayer did a review of it on Comic Frontline as well. We'll see where this series goes. I mean, if it goes too far to the left, I might stop. But if it stays where it's at now, not too bad, not too crazy, I'll finish it. I'll finish the mini. It's interesting. Again, the reason I'm even reviewing it is because I found it interesting enough to say I'm going to come back for issue 2. I feel like I need brain soap, but I'm going to be back for issue 2. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 14. The Rangers are fighting the army of Goldars in the main universe, and Tommy and Billy are fighting Draken and his people in their universe. And what happens is we find out that Trinity ended up saving Billy's morpher in the world where Tommy goes evil. And that was that's the last relic they have. That is the last connection to the morph core or whatever it's called. So basically the morpher is still in perfect shape, and Billy can morph into the Blue Ranger and become, the Blue Ranger and fight. And he's not sure if he has this goes back to that one shot that we got with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where Billy's kind of questioning if he has what it takes. So she has it and gives it to him, and she's like, you're the only one, because Tommy doesn't have his powers right now. Billy has his morpher now. What's going to happen? And I think I know the way they leave this issue off, it's really good because Billy has the morpher, and it looks like he's going to give it to Draken in order to kind of surrender. I think it's a trick. I really do. And in the main universe, you got the Power Rangers fighting the Goldars. They end up failing badly. And they find out that Alpha was really taken over and being controlled. And Trini actually gets taken prisoner in the main universe to be continued. Now, one thing that I don't like is, in this book, Billy and Trini look like they're connecting. But then if you read the pink one, the pink miniseries, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Pink, you know that Trini and Zach end up together in the future. If that makes any sense.
If it looks in a future sense.
So the problem I have with it is the pink book, if that is where they're heading in the future, that ruins it, because you'd think that Trini and Billy would end up together, even if Trini is no longer a Ranger. I didn't even think they were going to go with Trini, Zach, and Jason going away. You'd think that now that they have the comic, they don't have to worry about actors. They can keep the main 6 Rangers. So I hope they don't. I really, truly hope that they do not bring in Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. I really would like to keep the original 6.
You know they might, because it did happen that they did transfer them.
I know, but I'm saying that they have the ability now not to.
All right. Maybe they'll stay. You never know. All right. Oh, is that it?
Oh, then.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Good
know
book. You guys know how much I feel about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I really enjoy it. Maybe they will, but not right away. I hope not, MT. I hope not.
All right, so we'll start on my book, starting with, I'm guessing, last issue of Generation Zero, issue number 9. It's a battle between Kesha and the Black Lamb. And I kind of understand why Black Lamb is after Generation Zero. It's really because of what happened in high school.
My coffee.
Yeah, it's really what happened with, the high school life and, jealousy, that she really didn't get the life that she really wanted. So it turned out to be like an all battle between Kesha and the Black Lamb. And she was very bipolar in this issue. Like, at first when she gets hit, like, she gets a little bit upset, but then she gets mad again and starts punching. And we kind of saw this like 2 or 3 times in this issue. And I'm thinking, bipolar much? I mean, she was cuckoo in this issue. Probably a lot more further than that. But anyway, so Kesha winded up saving someone who was in the bubble. I think it was Rasa. I think that's Rasa. And there was more about over her. That's why she was saving her. And there was like this whole other thing that happened. But basically, it was the ending chapter of Generation Zero.
Gotcha.
So I'm guessing it was an okay issue. I would recommend you get it for trade paperback if you like teenage superheroes that have superpowers and stuff like that. But Kesha, actually, I forgot to mention this, had a power of her own that we didn't know about until this issue.
Oh, wow.
So she has her own ability to do that. Generation Zero is Valiant.
Valiant.
Speaking of Valiant, I have another Valiant book for all of you, and that is Ninjak issue number 26. And to be honest, I think this ended too, because at the end I did not see that the end or to be continued. It might be for the story arc.
Story arc, yeah, it's still coming out.
Because I was thinking the Seven Blades of Master Dirk was the last one.
Yeah, it's still coming out.
But basically, it must have been like the 5th time that or several times that Ninjak fought Ruku, you know, the one with the red hair and the long one. And you kind of knew that at this point of issue that they were going to fight and that she was going to betray him because of the other team. Because the other 7 Blades, like, they were under this mind control brain thing. Like, they had, like, these tubes in their heads or stuff like that. Ninjak, however, did save them because, you know, even though they're bad guys, you still got to do the right thing. But then he knows that he's going to get them in the future again. Right. So it's like saying, I saved you now, but when we face each other again, I'm not going to be so nice to you. So that's what I like about his character. But, you know, just at the end of the issue, when he was talking with Colin, because he was talking to Colin about what was going on with all the fighting that was going on, he just said, you know, if you need me, you call me, basically, because of all of what happened. And also, he was trying to snap out Ruku from her sense, and she didn't snap out of it, obviously, because she was under control. Red Sonja, issue number 4. This was a really awesome issue where Red Sonja has finally encountered with Killing Goth, who is the destroyer of the kingdoms in her world. And I like how they mentioned the amulet that he was wearing around his neck to prove his ancestry, because we got a little bit of a backstory about his ancestry of how they conquered kingdoms and stuff. So they wind up fighting along with the side. I can't remember what that guy's name is, but he talks basically her language. They wind up fighting side by side with each other. And actually, there's an ironic thing about that guy. They actually, in the past, met each other as, like, he was the last of his own kind. And Goth tries to kill him. But luckily for Red Sonja and him, they worked together. And it was like a really good team up that they had together. But now they got switched to another dimension. Where is the question? And we're not going to find out until the next issue. Really awesome. I'm really loving Red Sonja for this volume, at least. Spirit Hunters, issue number 6 of 12. We're at the halfway point of the Zenoscope story of Spirit Hunters. And basically, just to not give you guys the whole thing about this story, basically in Spirit Hunters, it's the case of finding the people who are getting acid burns. Now it's like they go in this car and then they find out that it was either cause of suicide or this or that. But then we find out that there was this car that this guy owned, and he was a race car driver. And the battery or the acid from the fire got into the person, and that's how he basically died. So he wanted to set revenge on people who were in that car. I think it was a Subaru or something. I don't know what it was, a Camaro? I can't remember what it was. So basically they found out, you know, how or why this happened and put the guy to rest instead of making him go all and conquering all. Really interesting book, though, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. The next issue is really interesting. Now we go to you back.
Invincible 135. Thank you, Midtown, for canceling my Gwen Vincible variant cover. Apparently, they had issues with the cover or misprints or whatever. So everybody who ordered it online, I apologize to all of you, just like what happened to me. Anyway, we have Invincible. We got everybody fighting against Tharg's army. We find out Tharg's actually making a home base, and he picks the home base of the being he killed a long time ago. What's his name? Thrak, I believe he killed.
Oh, wow.
Thrag, and he killed Thrak.
Thrag and Thrak.
The Battle Beast. He killed Battle Beast. We all know he killed Battle Beast about a year ago. So he chooses his home world to make his base. So they take out the army, but what happens is they end up letting one of the children go. They were conquering a planet. And what they do is they have this guy, I forgot what his name was, Space Racer, follow him to find out where Thrag is and where the home base is. And that's exactly what happens throughout this issue. We get a nice one page with Mark's daughter. We see Thrag showing up on his home planet, but Space Racer finds out and lets everybody else know. And, well, I love these splash pages. Invincible is there, and the final, and possibly the final battle begins, and it looks like Thrag is ready to go. To be continued. Love Invincible. I'm really sad that in 9 more issues, it's going to be done. I'm very sad to see it go. Very sad. But really good book. Thank you, Midtown, for screwing up the incentive cover I wanted. That now is sold out everywhere.
All right, and we're going back to digital.
Big 2.
Of the big 2. And
it's all you this week.
It's all me, yeah, with Marvel, I think.
Yeah, all Marvel.
All right, so we're going to start with Thunderbolts issue number 12.
This is actually your Marvel week, because if you look at it, you have 4 digital, 1 physical, that's 5, and then I only have 1 physical Marvel, and then the rest is all DC. Yeah, I know, but then the rest is... Yeah, I take over all DC.
So this is the... what is this? The opening... I guess this is the opening of the Secret Empire.
Yeah, it's the first... It's probably a prelude.
It says opening salvo?
Oh, don't worry about that. Yeah, it's basically the beginning of...
It's the beginning of Secret Empire, yeah, but... Basically,
Empires, yeah.
Thunderbolts issue number 12.
Well, let me actually cut you off real quick to give you a heads up.
It's going to continue in another story, isn't it?
No.
Because I did read about that.
I looked up Secret Empire issue number 2. I'm sure some of you want to know my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm not reviewing it. I'm not reviewing it because I can't. It's crossing over into all the books anyway. I'm going to be covering my books that cross over into Secret Empire. I'm not going to be covering the main story, but in issue 0... Bucky ends up getting captured by Baron, and he gets shot off in a rocket, and the rocket explodes. And that's kind of, and Steve kind of says, I'm sorry, Bucky, maybe one day you'll understand. He thinks, he's under the assumption that Bucky's been brainwashed to believe that he wasn't part of Hydra, but originally Steve believes that Bucky knew all along, but then forgot, and basically Cap had to get him out of the way. And, man, it's insane, and if not for the mention of what's to come after Secret Empire and Generations and everything, I honestly would not know where the Marvel Universe was going to recover from next, but it does confirm that once Secret Empire is over, it's kind of over. It's not going to be the world under Hydra or whatever. But I'm just letting you know, because I know this has Bucky in it, that's what happened in issue 0.
Really, Bucky.
I know, and that's what happens in issue. So I'm guessing that the next issue of Thunderbolts, we'll find out what happens to Bucky.
It's continuing in the Captain America book.
Oh, to be continued in Captain America?
They said the story continues in a different book.
So this is the last issue?
I'm guessing. I mean, because I saw that.
What's up, Shamar?
Yeah, because it says this story will continue in Captain America something, and that showed Secret Empire issue 0 cover.
Okay, so then
So I don't know.
So this is so I kind of jumped the gun with mine.
But I was trying to tell you.
It was interesting. It wasn't something groundbreaking. Honestly, it wasn't something groundbreaking, Secret Empire. I mean, if you'd like to look into it, if you'd like to cover it, I've been
looking and hearing thoughts. I'm not really too...
I mean, I'm saying you could look at issue 0 if you want.
I'll look, but I don't know about reviewing wise. But anyway, going into Thunderbolts issue number 12, Cubic is basically like she's going like all over the place. Like she's like having like all these memories and like she's getting like really, really powerful. And it's up to Bucky to try to save her and everything, because the other people want her killed because they don't want her to be overpowered anymore.
And they don't want her to probably change Cap back either.
That also. But then, everything is... I mean, that's what the whole gist of the story was. Like, basically, Bucky trying to save her, and he tried to, but then... The others, I can't remember what their name were, and that woman that really is something else. I didn't like her from the beginning anyway. The one that Swordstone, or whatever her name was, but you know what I'm talking about. It was just like basically, just kill her. They killed her and everything, or they sent her somewhere. No, actually, no, they did kill her because they said what happened. Bucky was too distracted to fight back and everything because of what happened with Cubic. And now he's been held captive, like what you were saying about being held captive. And then that was the whole end of the book. So it was like a little bit okay issue, but it's just really something that they're going into a different story to continue it. Deadpool till Death Do Us Part 6. Yeah.
Hold on.
What?
Issue 29.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna need it for next week's haul.
Well,
That's
right.
This is the
actually, I want to show
X-Men.
some.
This is the X-Men Resurrection variant with Beast on the cover. Go ahead.
All right. Well, basically, yeah. But I actually like this issue. It wasn't that bad. It's just that Deadpool's wife, Sikla, is really a cheater. Like, first of all, she's getting in a marriage with Dracula.
They're getting married?
They actually did. And, like, she's, like, trying to, like, say, like, even though we're having forces with each other, I don't want you to hurt the people that I care about. And then we have Mercs for Money that come in the fight. And then we have Benjamin Franklin who comes in the ghost form and everything.
Oh, my God. They brought Ben Franklin all the way from the first.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Seriously.
They bring a lot of people back from Deadpool's past.
Well, we do get some Spidey action where, he helps out Deadpool and everything. And then that's really was the whole thing. Just Deadpool trying to talk with Shaka, like saying, how can you marry Dracula? Like, he killed your brothers and everything. And he's like saying, if you wouldn't known everything and the truth, and well, to kind of get together-ish again. She's really something else, because then she's like saying, I'll get together with you, but then I'm going to kill you. But then she should remember he has healing factor. Go figure. And then, after the whole fighting and everything, we see that she wrote a letter to him just saying that, I've come to realize that I rushed into our marriage and we should just part ways. And then she thinks that she shall go and experience the 21st century. And then he just gets hit with so many things. And yeah. Oh, I wanted to show you one thing that I thought you would like. Basically this one. Where he's caring for Deadpool.
Aww.
But he's like saying, but for what you did with Parker Industries, that's all Peter Parker. So he regrets suing you for the damage and everything. But just keep that in mind. That's what happened. And then we get a preview cover Deadpool issue 30. So this was a great issue.
Let me take that because I got to put it back for the whole.
I just feel bad for Deadpool with with his wife and everything, because
Beast cover, by the way,
because we had that whole marriage ceremony, and I guess it's for no reason. But yeah, now this one,
of course, and they charged you $10 to read that marriage book that now no longer matters. Yeah. The marriage is null and void. So whoever paid $10. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know some people who did.
What's up, Justin? We got Justin. I gotta say hey to Justin. Justin actually is starting a new Sunday morning show, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. He kept me up. I was going to bed. I got the notification. I'm like, sleep, Justin's live show. Sleep, Justin's gonna be opening boxes. Sleep, Justin's gonna be talking about comics. Click. And I ended up staying up. So yes. That was the beginning of me figuring out I need to fix my sleep schedule.
All right, and this is the final issue of Silk, issue number 19. We've all heard that Silk was going to be leaving Marvel, and this is...
She's not leaving Marvel. The series is ending.
The series is ending, but just saying, you know what I mean. You don't understand.
No worries, Justin. I enjoyed the show. It was a fun time, man. Can't wait for next Sunday. I might miss it live. Maybe I won't. Who knows?
Yeah, but basically... For this last issue, it's just really putting it all together about what the father... It was really focused on the father when he was trying to make Silk turn back to normal because of her powers. So they had the antidote, and basically her father's cronies were basically trying to go after her to get her with that serum so that way she could turn back to normal. So then when it came down to the father saying it was all his fault and everything... He just broke the thing saying, you're perfect, you're always perfect, and everything. And I like how everything turned happy. Like, she finally knew where she was going with the therapy that was going pretty well and everything. And it looked like it was actually happy. Because last time, when everything was all good together, when she was saying, I don't know what's going to happen next, it's like, the story's going to continue. But when we see all the pieces put together, this showed that, okay, this is the end. Because she's happy now. Everything's back to normal, and it's just really sad to see her go, though, because I really got into Silk and all that. And yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I love that cover. I actually had to take it out of the
I
bag
knew you were
yesterday.
going to like it, and I wouldn't be surprised this was your cover of the week for Frontline Live.
No, it's
which
not my
is
cover
tomorrow.
of the week. It's not my cover of the week.
All right, but I'm letting people know.
Okay, I'm just saying it's not my cover of the week.
Okay, then. Just thought it was.
All right, no.
But The Punisher issue number 11, and I did review this on...
You can't see the sharks. You can't see nothing. It's a black cover.
I was going to take it out, huh?
Look at those sharks. Look at them.
Which do not appear at all in this book.
See, this is why, if anybody ever wants to get me anything from Zenescope, they have 2 trade paperbacks. One is about sharks. One is about Megalodon. I'd kill for both of them.
Okay, then.
And if you hear anything that's me doing this, I got obsessed with this stupid little thing.
I see everybody using that.
Does anybody else use this stress? Does anybody else use this stress relief or just
Facebook
keep yourself busy?
Saying it's so addicting, like really.
It's very addictive.
Anyway, getting into that, that's going to be the new thing of the 2017.
You can even take the weights off if you want.
That's very nice. All right, so actually, I did review this on Frontline, and basically, we all knew the Punisher somehow or some way was going to not get killed. He gets out of the whole Olaf cronies, and he fights all of them off with the whole drugs that are used with all this, and the Punisher just kills. And then we see the whole, well, first of all, here's some artwork, by the way. This is parental advisory, not for kids, by the way, which has been said since issue number 1 because of all the blood and gore. So as the Punisher is facing against everyone, he's like saying, Olaf, you know, it's time that we face each other. So as he jumps in the water and uses the EMC on himself, now it's basically the fight to the death. What an interesting cliffhanger. I was like, how could you to be continued? This was my book of the week, definitely. You know, without a doubt. Because this, the way they left it on a cliff note and the whole story, just wow. Just awesome right there. Really love that issue. Can't wait for the next one. Fight to the death. Mortal Kombat.
All right. Venom's back. Venom issue number 6. However, little misleading and not jump on friendly. Because it continues to fight. The good news is I was skimming what was going on. It continues to fight with Spider-Man and the person that is possessing the Venom symbiote now, whose name completely leaves me. But the Venom symbiote wants to get away from this guy. And you see like the symbolism within the Venom symbiote about the guy saying, I'll kill you, I'll take you with me, whatever, yada, yada. If I go down, you go down. You got Eddie Brock, who's running the team that's going to contain the Venom symbiote.
Is he Venom or Toxin? Eddie Brock.
Neither at this point. Apparently, none. He doesn't have any symbiote within him anymore.
Wow.
So Spider-Man ends up doing the capture, and Eddie Brock goes missing from the site. And then later on at the station, though, he asks to see the symbiote one more time. And it turns out Eddie Brock is not as good as we all thought because he ends up snapping a dude's neck and taking the symbiote. So as the last page says, we're back. So now Eddie Brock, if you want to know what's going on, don't buy this issue. Basically, they capture the symbiote. The other guy loses the symbiote. He's no longer Venom. And then Eddie Brock, using brutal force, takes the symbiote back, and the Venom we've all known and love is now back. So starting with issue...
Eddie Brock is back.
Yes, so starting with issue number 7, we are going to be getting... Look at this. Look at the artwork.
Ooh, classic.
This is the artwork for issue 150. Now, Marvel, why... Chris, why... I thought you just said this was issue 6. What do you talk about 150 coming in next month in May? Marvel is slowly going back to the original numbering for all their books. They're counting Venom Space Knight. They're counting all the Venom series up to this point. And basically the next issue of Venom is 150. So I guess Venom is going to be one of the first comics to go back to the original numbering. This has a lot to do with Marvel Legacies. We will talk about it tomorrow night on Frontline Live. If you're watching this on my channel in June, go back. It's going to be Frontline Live. Gee, what episode are we going to be up to at Frontline Live? That's a good... Well, look up Frontline Live, go in the playlist, and it's gonna have Legacy in the title, and it's only a couple of weeks. June is only like 5 or 6 weeks away, so you only have to go about 5 or 6 episodes of Frontline Live back, and you'll find it. Okay. Just want to make sure. Justin said he's still here. Oh, they're talking about that. It's Michael Reed. Venom never really had and original numbering. That's the, you know, I will admit, Michael, I agree with you. It never did. Venom was always a mixture of miniseries. There was Lethal Protector. There was, oh God, what was that other one with the symbiotes? Something symbiotes.
What?
With Venom. What were the miniseries back in the day? Lethal Protector was one. Venom the Lethal Protector. Symbiosis, was it? The one where Slash and all the other symbiotes came from Venom.
Oh.
But there were multiple miniseries. But Michael, there was an ongoing. I know because I traded Michael for it.
Planet of the Symbiotes.
There was not Planet of the Symbiotes is another one, yes, but no, there was another one. Jeez, it's gonna drive me nuts now. There was another one where it had Slash and all the other mini symbiotes made their debut.
I don't remember.
It was a video game too, by the way.
Maximum Carnage?
No, that's Carnage!
Oh, Separation Anxiety?
Thank you. Separation Anxiety. It had nothing to do with symbiotes at all. Separation Anxiety was another one. But Venom did have an ongoing.
Then what? You say it's a video game. What are you talking about? What was it? Sega? Was it Super Nintendo? Was it PlayStation? What was it?
Anyway, so Venom did have an ongoing in the early 2000s because I traded Michael that series for all of his Ultimate Spider-Man. There was an ongoing then. And I think it lasted 12 issues, and then it ended. And then we had Venom with Flash. Then we had Venom Space Knight. Now we have we have that Venom, which the guy is gone. So now Eddie Brock is back. So we've come full circle with this issue. Venom has come full circle. Eddie Brock is now Venom again. He is not Toxin. We're forgetting that ever happened. Never happened. Bye-bye. No thoughts on it.
Huh. Wow. Trying to wipe out memories. It happens.
So yeah, Venom apparently now, because of that ongoing and all the other minis, I guess they're counting everything. They're counting everything, and boom. So 150 is how many comics of specifically Venom have been released since the day of Venom issue number 1.
How much confusion can they give us with Marvel?
You know, they did. This is the funny. This is the hilarious thing, everybody. Marvel felt that the high numbering was going to push people away, so they went to the single digits, and now they're deciding, oh, people want the high numbers, so now we're going to confuse everybody even further, and we're going to renumber everything after we've renumbered it like 4 or 5 times. So you got Guardians 1, Guardians 1, Guardians 1, Guardians 1, all new Guardians 1, and then Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 500 and something. I feel bad for the people 20 years from now, the young generation of babies being born right now, little baby comic collectors. I see them out there. I see them being born every day. They don't know it yet, but when they get older, they're going to love comics, and they're going to go back, and they're going to go in those back bins, and they're going to go looking for these old Marvel books, and they're going to be like, why are there 5 number 1s and then a 568? What happened? I see it. I'm just going to say there is a reason why we haven't seen Eddie Brock as Venom. I don't think he's boring, Michael. I thought that the thing was with the last Venom series, with the last one, the ongoing, not the Flash Thompson one, not the Space Knight one, which the Space Knight one got boring towards the end. The problem with Eddie Brock back when it was the ongoing, there wasn't anything really to do with him. After Separation Anxiety, after Lethal Protector, and after all those moments in Amazing Spider-Man, there really wasn't much else to do. So Marvel was trying to figure out what to do with Venom. And then also, don't forget, Venom was in Spider-Man 3. So they had to do something with Venom because he was in Spider-Man 3. And it's Marvel, and they love to push their stuff in their books when the movies come out. As a collector, I'm happy to the legacy numbering. As a collector, now you're happy, Justin. As a collector, now I'm happy. Did he open the book big like... Did he open the book big like that? I didn't open the book big like that. But anyway, the thing with Eddie Brock is I feel like they didn't know where they wanted to go. And nostalgia, yeah, there is a nostalgia factor where people are like, okay, we're done seeing Flash Thompson. We're done seeing all these other people. We want Eddie Brock back. And to be honest with you guys, if there's going to be a Venom, I'm sorry, I stand with majority. I would rather be Eddie Brock because we know what we're getting with Eddie Brock. Flash Thompson, was he a bad Venom? Absolutely not. You know who Flash Thompson should be?
Ooh,
Toxin.
It would make sense.
Why not? It would make perfect sense. Leave Eddie Brock as Venom. Let Flash be Toxin. You got Carnage.
Please,
we don't want to think about Carnage. No, we don't want to think about what's going on with Carnage right now. We just got the worst taste in our mouth after all that Carnage.
I loved the book.
Whoever thought it was a good idea to make a Carnage ongoing series must have lost something. But anyway, Score. Oh my God! Thank you for reminding me, Michael. That's right. Before we forgot, Dark Reign. Scorpion was Venom for a time.
No.
Oh my God! Yes, you are right. That was the worst. Make comment. Listen, as Justin was saying though, and as I wanted to bounce off of that, but then we went all different ways, and King of Thunder jumped in with nostalgia and yada yada. I like it for me because I know what numbers the comics and Marvel should be. There's nothing, and I agree with you, Justin. I'm very happy that the legacy renumbering is going to happen because that's where it should have been. What I feel bad for is not me, not Michael, not anyone who's been reading comics up to this point. I feel bad for the generations down the line because, I mean, look at us. Justin, you just did a haul where you had a ton of old books. People do hauls with old books all the time. Think about 20 years from now when those younger generations are like, I got volume 3, 4, and 5 of Spider-Man because they were only 12 issues long. And then they're like, all of a sudden it just ended and then it went to 578. I know it's obviously you get a good way of they put it in categories or they have a lineup of it online. You won't get confused. But I feel bad for them because it's like, oh, okay, so for like 5 or 6 years, Marvel decided to go 1 through 12, 1 through 12, 1 through 12, 1 through 20 in certain cases. And then they went to $500, $600, $700, $800. You know what I mean? $800. Oh, God. 800, the issue number. Oh, okay. I think Marvel is doing a good job with what they're planning. How they execute it and how it's done, we'll have to wait to see until after Secret Empire and after Generations. What they're promising sounds very good. I agree, Chris. It'll be harder for them. Exactly. I think it got worse after Secret Wars. Yes. Michael, you hit the nail on the head. It got worse because it got too confusing. Too many people from too many different universes are in one universe now. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But anyway, I think that if they do Legacies right, if they do it right, most books couldn't even make it past 8. Exactly. They were ending them without even having it up to issue 12. And then they bring new books out. I think Legacy will fix the universe and it'll fix the numbering. So collectors, readers, all around people will be happy. The numbering, I'm okay. Whatever number they want to throw at me. If it's a series I like, I'm going to read it. I don't give a crap what number it is because I'm organizing it in my collection. Okay, I'm lying a little bit. I'm not organizing it completely, but I'll remember when I'm ready to organize every series in their own long box. I'll remember what came first and what came second.
You almost.
Well, I don't have them. It's true. The only thing I only have one specific box for my Superman. Everything else I kind of leave all in one box, and then I'll sort it later.
I should know.
And then I'll sort it later. But I'll remember. New collectors, they're gonna have an issue. They're gonna have issues because they're gonna be like, well, there's 5 issue number 1s within the course of 5 years.
But that's where.
How do you organize it? Not even the writers know. That's true. Not even the writers know how. That's very true. I do it by date. I go by the date and the year.
That is why we have the internet. It'll give us all the information of where we have to read and then go to what number. It's confusing, but what can you do? That's how it is. I mean, we have the internet. That's what the internet is.
Y'all on mute? I'm not mute. My microphone's working.
Give thumbs up if you hear us.
Can anybody now? I want to make sure. Can you guys hear us, or are you just messing with us?
They're not me. Jason,
I'm gonna kick you, Jason, one day. All right, we're done with Marvel now. We've given Marvel enough time. Spotlighted. So
let's go.
And we will talk more. Plug for tomorrow night, Tuesday night. We will be talking about Legacies, and I'm sure we'll get into all that. You're good. Thank you, Michael. Jason, you tricky little trickster.
Oh, he put an LOL at the end. I didn't even see that.
Anyway, we're going into DC. But before we go into DC, let's go into DC IDW's crossover, which is Green Lantern, or Star Trek Green Lantern, Stranger Worlds, issue number 5 of 6. So Sinestro made it to Oa in the Star Trek universe, in the last issue, and he absorbed Parallax. So we got Larfleeze, who ends up being brought in by Khan, who wants to team up to destroy Starfleet and take over the galaxy. You have Sinestro, who is killing every single... Basically, Sinestro is doing what he did when he became merged with Parallax. He's killing all of the Guardians, and there's only a few left. And what they do is they create a ring. I'm giving you the long abbreviated version of it. They created their first Green Lantern ring in the Star Trek universe, and guess what? Guess who the first the first character in the Star Trek universe is a Green Lantern? Captain Kirk.
Figures.
And basically they're arguing over who's going to kill Kirk and destroy Oa. And basically it was like a generic, both of you stop talking, captain's orders. It was a very generic kind of ending. So now it looks like Kirk and the other Lanterns, somehow the other Lanterns are going to get their rings recharged, and they're going to kick Khan and Sinestro's butt. And maybe the Green Lanterns will find their place finally in the Star Trek universe. I'm organizing my Thors tonight. Got to figure out which I'm missing. You have a lot of Thor. That's right, Justin. You got a lot of Thors. All right. 2 lower books. Now, again, this is a book I traded out starting in July-ish. Let me ask that. Okay. In July-ish, Justice League issue number 19, The Conclusion to Timeless. It was a very generic
You
conclusion.
haven't been really loving Justice League.
I have
very
not.
much.
So Molly has this almighty power. She's fighting Superman. She's fighting Batman. She's fighting the Team Infinite or whatever. And Superman reaches out, or not Superman, I'm sorry, one of the members of the Infinite, oh God, why Infinite Incorporated or whatever, reaches out to the Justice League all throughout time and space and say, destroy the stones and you'll stop her. So each one of them is destroying their stones in order to stop Molly, take away her powers. In the end, she loses her powers. Molly threatens to kill Lois and John. She finds Lois and John, but Superman shows up to stop them. The Justice League destroy the stones. Molly loses her powers. The world is safe. And Molly gives that oh so ominous, you did this. Now no one can stop it. Not ever. And you're the ones to blame. It would have been fine if, basically she's saying if the superheroes and villains died, what was supposed to happen wouldn't have. I'm sure she's foreshadowing Mr. Doctor. She's foreshadowing Dr. Manhattan, but now apparently because the Justice League wouldn't let her eliminate them and all the supervillains in the world and superheroes, they can't stop what's coming next. And I feel like I've seen this cover somewhere before with the figure like this. I'm so done with Justice League. I will finish off my physical copies. We'll see if I'll still review it digitally. I'm just not too sure if I will or not. I got to see where the story's at, but it will be moving to digital format just like Green Lanterns issue 21. But Green Lanterns in the same month of Justice League will be ending, so I can get myself my X-Men Blue and Gold, because Blue and Gold look really good, really promising, and I'm enjoying it. It's X-Men again. Green Lanterns fighting Polaris. My prediction was wrong, though. Simon Boz tries to use his ring to resurrect Polaris's brother, and it turns out he can't. That the brother was too far gone. Seth was way too far gone because Polaris wouldn't let Simon get to him fast enough, so he lost his brother. He lost everything, and he just leaves, and he decides he's going to throw the Justice League satellite into the world. The Green Lanterns stop it, save the day. Dr. Polaris is hiding out somewhere, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to kill the 2 Green Lanterns that killed Seth. So basically, he's lost his mind now, and we will be seeing Dr. Polaris again. Woohoo! I'm so happy. So happy we're going to be seeing Polaris again in this book. Makes me want to rethink if I want to keep buying this physically or not. And then in the end, Jon Stewart calls Simon and Jessica to Oa. And that's where they're going next. Next issue, I'm interested in seeing what happens. This story arc with Polaris, or Polarity as they called it, it's a skip. It's a skip. Nothing progression-wise happens at all. I dropped Justice League, about to drop JLA. Remember Jade? Oh, I miss Jade. Don't say that, Michael. I miss Jade. Jay Garrick's daughter, which they made Jay Garrick gay, if you remember, in the Earth 2 universe. So there was no Jade. There was
So wait, this was when Rebirth happened. They changed him. or before Rebirth?
No. This is before Rebirth. They still have before New 52. They changed it. They haven't changed it back. So, well, I hope they bring Jade. I mean, look, when they fight Dr. Manhattan, for all we know, everything will get fixed. Everything will go back to the way it was originally.
I
don't
hope
know.
so, because I hope the Dr. Manhattan is going to change the whole thing again. Because we just got back to normal with DC.
Sort of.
Let's hope it doesn't get any worse, because then that's going to really get me mad.
I agree about Jessica. I think she's more interesting. Remember, Alan. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I say Jay Garrick? Jay Garrick is the Flash. Earth 2, it was Alan Scott. Jay Garrick was the Flash. I apologize. I've got Flash on the mind. So, Alan Scott, thank you. I made a mistake. Jay Garrick is the Flash from Earth 2. But anyway, Batwoman, issue number 2. She returns to the island, and we get the backstory about Batwoman. I almost said girl. Batwoman, and a woman she fell in love with, and her name was...
What is the name?
Give me a minute. Come on. Oh, here we go. Sophia. And it goes back to when she ended up washed up on the island. And she was taken in. She was living with Sophia. They were in love with each other. Sophia ran the island and ran it in a perfect way. But then we don't know how yet, but obviously Kate left, and in leaving, it ruined Sophia in a way where she kind of steps down from where she was. She kind of lost her, I guess, from what we're getting so far. I'm guessing she lost her heart, like her will to kind of move forward and do what she was doing, because she lost, I guess, the love of her life. And we find out that progression came into the world, and the woman that she's been chasing actually is one of the people that was friends with or working with Jade, Sophia, and Kate, and she ended up turning towards the corporations that moved in on the island. And apparently all the other gang lords show up. So they're still around. They still hate Kate, but at the same time they want, they're on the same side because they have a mutual problem. And that is the people who are stealing the monster blood from Night of the Monsters, if you remember. So we get a little bit of a mind into the, what was it? What was this? The Many Hands, was it? Yeah, the Many Hands. So apparently the Many Hands wanted Kate to show up on this island because now they want to make her pay. They want to kill her. To be continued. Interesting. Got to see where it's going to go, but interesting. Definitely interesting. 100% interesting. Interesting. Another book that's touching on what's going on all around the DC universe, and that is Nightwing. And we find out that Dr. Hurt was brought back to, well, we get a little backstory on Dr. Hurt in the first page, where he was brought back and he needs to forge a new weapon, and that weapon is the Nightwing. He has to forge it because there is a power eviler and greater than the god that he follows, and he needs Nightwing to be at 100% in order to defeat or fight this being, which is going to be Dr. Manhattan. So Nightwing and Sean, yes, Sean actually follows him to find Damian, end up tracking Damian down in Egypt, I believe they're at, and they're teaming up to save Damian. I like how she's dropping little hints about you're going to make a great dad someday, and I know that because I'm following you, I'm going to be, hopefully I'll be a great mom one day. I like how they're dropping that in. The question is, and this is everybody watching, do we want Nightwing as a dad? Or don't we? We didn't know it'd be cool for Bruce to be a dad. I think it'd be an interesting new look. If they could make Spider-Woman a mom and make it very interesting, and that was forced, do we want Nightwing as a dad? And it's it's completely organic.
There's different universes. Spider-Woman's from Marvel. You're talking about DC.
I agree with Justin. The last 3 or 4 issues of Nightwing have been much better.
And what about Superman having a son?
Who?
Superman having a son.
And Superman has a son. That's right. So what's stopping DC. I mean, Dan Didio wanted Nightwing dead. What better way to stick it to Dan Didio even further than to make Nightwing a dad? So Deathwing and Nightwing have a fight. Sean almost ends up dying. She gets saved by Nightwing. I really do hope he becomes a dad. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I want it. So he fights Deathwing. Sean stays behind because Deathwing finally is starting to see the light. So she kind of wants to work with him and try to bring him back because we all know Deathwing thinks he's Nightwing from another universe, but he's not. And Nightwing finds Dr. Hurt, but it looks like Dr. Hurt already stabbed Damian. Of course, we all know he didn't because Damian's alive everywhere else. But now he's sending Nightwing, as they say, to hell, and only the strong crawl back from hell. Very interesting stuff. I'm really liking it. I left out a bunch of details because Nightwing is a fun read. It's just like Justin said. Nightwing is definitely getting very, very interesting. And the further away we get from Secret Agent Secret Agent Grayson, the better. I don't want to acknowledge Agent Grayson ever again. They might as well name Damian as Firebird. Yeah, because Damian's always following Dick around, but I liked it better when Dick was Batman and Damian was Robin. But again, you can't have two you can have two Batman, but I like Nightwing as Nightwing. Works better that way. And if there ever is a new Robin, which I'm glad they didn't make
what?
The other guy that's not, they don't know what he is yet.
Tim Drake?
No. Tyson, is it? Whoever Batman's training now in the yellow bat suit, that's not his ward, not another Robin, but something more. Well, anyway, I don't know who he is either because we don't get to see him too often anyway. But I'm glad he isn't Robin. So if Batman ever does have another Duke, thank you. Duke. I don't know why his name left me. Duke isn't Robin, but if Batman ever does get another Robin, that's a good idea for Damian, making Flamebird. Duke, yeah, I don't like his character. His whole introduction. And then where he's at now, he's not a Robin. It's kind of like Roman Reigns in wrestling. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just a guy. And everybody hates him. And I feel like that's what's going on with Duke right now in the Batman universe. He's not a good guy. He's not a Robin. He's not a partner to Batman. He's something else. And it's like everybody in the comments are saying now, Justin, lame. Michael Reed, Duke is puke. Nobody true. I mean, there is a handful of people, and I know I'm going to get that handful of people, whether live now or post-live, that are going to say, I like Duke. I like what they're doing with Duke. But the overwhelming majority doesn't. The overwhelming majority has no clue what Duke is doing in the Batman universe. If Duke came to Batwing, has more of a place in the Batman family right now than Duke. What the hell is Duke? Is Duke even going to matter in another couple of years after Well, he probably will, because Batman never loses anybody. But Duke isn't anything right now, and he doesn't even have the mentality as all the other Robins and Nightwing and Batwing. He doesn't have any of the mentality as the rest of the Bat family. So what's the point? And Bluebird even quit. If Bluebird could quit, let Duke quit. I mean, at this point, there's no point to Duke. No point. He's something else. Well, you know what? Something else is boring me. Something else is Roman Reignsing. It's raining. It's Roman reigning and ruining what's going on. Seriously, in Batman.
You put that pun in there?
I had to, because I got to be honest, I don't give a crap about Duke. I don't care. If he dies, if he walks away, whatever DC wants to do, I do.
Well, when it rains,
he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. In my eyes, and in a few people in the comments right now's eyes, he doesn't fit. He does not fit.
We get it.
All right. Everyone in DC is just going to have biggest father-son. Maybe one day.
Could I get to my book?
Damian is not, he's relevant because he made his, he slowly grew on people. Not that he's being pushed. Unless you mean like pushed as in like they're pushing him, they're trying to push him like a wrestler where they're trying to push his popularity. I think Damian took his licks throughout the past 5 or 6 years of his existence and really, DC really worked on the character to make him liked. Duke, I don't know what they can do with his character. Just a weird Schneider character. Oh, I get what you're saying. No, I like Bluebird, but she quit. Duke is still around. You forgot about Batwing. Well, Batwing's back too now, though. There are like 2 Batwings, and no, 1 Batwing. The other Batwing in Africa quit, and they're both more relevant. Exactly. Well, yeah, the Batwing that quit is more relevant. Duke could just do missions for Alfred again. Yeah, fine. Off the books. Little mentions here or there, and I'm good. Go, because I have nothing left. Duke is just, at this point, Duke's a joke.
I reviewed this on Comic Frontline. Green Arrow, issue number 21. A new story arc begins of the Rise of Star City Part 1. And as you saw from the cover, Eddie Fires is returning. Like I figured he would. But how and why? So it first starts off like, while Green Arrow is at the cemetery finding out information about his father, we get introduced to new people. Like, we first get introduced to this green woman named Cheshire or
Cheshire
or Shire, whatever. And she has this thing about
what is it? Checking.
No,
I'm looking at checking in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheshire.
All right. Well, anyway, she has powers.
We got Entity, Edge, Network in the comments. What's up, Entity?
Yeah. And then we have Eddie Fires, who turns a big rated hotel into a low rating with bugs and the person who got welts and stuff like that. I do have to admit, though, the artwork is enough said right there as being phenomenal. I mean, I really love the artwork. And then we get introduced to this other new character, Danny Brickwell, who, if any of these names appear, familiar, you can stop me at any time.
Again, I don't really follow Green Arrow.
If you know, I said. And Green Arrow, as he's finding more and more things about his father, like we have Mayor Domani, who actually comes in, and then he's talking about his business with stuff about keeping one of the commissioner's son alive, or is it councilman's son alive and stuff like that. And then we have the good old Cyrus Broderick, who formed the Four Horsemen, who have these characters who we got introduced to here. And as they're going to try to murder Seattle, they are going to have a place where it will rise Star City, which is why it's called the Rise of Star City. And it's up to Green Arrow, since I guess Broderick doesn't know that he's gone, to stop all this from happening. Really awesome book. I'm definitely
Duke is the Simon Boz of the Bat family. Exactly. Green Arrow is so good. I love when they make the costume look green and red in the original Green Arrow color scheme.
See?
Green Arrow has been getting better also. I miss Otto.
See, just saying it's getting better.
I didn't say it wasn't.
No, I didn't say you. I'm just saying there are other people.
All right. Well, guys, Michael wants you with him tomorrow live for Frontline Live when he mentions that that's probably his number 1, 2, or 3 of the week. So pop by.
I'm not saying what it is.
Goodbye, Seattle. I reviewed this for Frontline, so I'm giving the abbreviated version of Superwoman, issue number 9, and why I love it. Number one, the art. Number 1, the art. I really do like the art in this book a lot. I really do love the art. I wish this artist would do Supergirl, because my one gripe with Supergirl right now is that the artwork doesn't fit for her book. But anyway, Lana wakes up, no powers anymore. All went back to Superman because she was apparently housing the red Superman, or the New 52 Superman, within her, because Lois died too. And Atomic Skull is working for Maggie Sawyer, and as long as he's working for her, he's got that get out of jail free card. So Superman takes Lana around Metropolis and explains to her why she needs to be Superwoman, or why she's important to the world as Superwoman, and that she needs to figure out how to be a Superwoman again. And that's where the fight between Remnant and Atomic Skull happens. Superman jumps in to save the day. Lana jumps in to save a bunch of kids. And then she finally kind of starts to think, maybe this is where, maybe I do need to still be Superwoman. And I loved it. I love the chemistry between Lana and Clark is back. She's not saying you're another Superman anymore, because now we all know. And Clark actually, just like in all the other books, tells Lana, what happened in Superman Reborn, just a shorter version of it, and says he needs everybody to be ready, because when the fight with Oz happens, which I am now even more so believing that it's going to happen before the main event in DC. When Superman fights Oz, he needs the Superman family to be ready for when he calls. Want to know what would make the art even better? Superman. Oh, want to know what would make the art look? Okay, so Michael, you're one of the people that like Superman in the underwear. I think it's like what Jay says. Every step closer to the original DC universe, Superman's costume fixes. In New 52, it was a completely new armor costume. Rebirth, we have the entire costume back to the way it was, except for the belt and the and the trunks. When Rebirth is over, we'll see if the red trunks come back or not. If they do, Jay's theory's right. If they don't, you know, Batman had black trunks for a time, then didn't, then did, then didn't again. So it's an ever-changing costume.
What was the book?
I know.
Are you opening the book?
Super Sons issue number 3. This issue pits Damian and John against Kid Amazo and his clones, and we get the backstory on what happened to Kid Amazo, that it all connects back to the events that happened in Justice League, Jeff Johns' run, where the Amazo virus took over the world or took over Metropolis for a time. Apparently, Kid Amazo and his family were affected. They were, they kept their powers. They were at 5%. And Kid Amazo kidnapped his family and kept killing them over and over and over again. So somewhere in the factory or in the place where Kid Amazo is, the real family, the living family, is in there. And what's happening is he's just continually making robot clones of them and then killing them and then building them and then killing them. And what happens is Kid Amazo ended up touching Robin and Superboy, and now he's able to copy them as himself. And they get into this huge fight. We find out that the sister has powers to kind of stop the robots or Kid Amazo. But in the end, John and Damian kind of get overwhelmed with Superboy and Robin clones. And it turns out that the sister, whose name leaves my mind at the moment, she ends up melting, if that makes any sense. I want to see. I don't know, but Kid Amazo's Reggie, and they have to stop him. To be continued. Very, very interesting. And I really did think that the fathers were back and they were going to be reprimanding both kids. I know that by the end of this story arc they will, but Super Sons is really a fun read. I am enjoying it. Definitely something fun. By issue 1000. Oh, yeah. There you go. Justin came up with a perfect solution. Issue 1000. The Red Trunks Return. Perfect title also. Still don't understand the two Supermen split thing. Also, Action Comics 1000. We should get the Trunks. Michael, the thing with the two Supermen is that was DC's way of explaining out New 52 Superman, erasing everybody's memory of New 52 Superman, erasing everybody's memory that there apparently were two Supermen in the new DC universe, and basically just now everything is back to a zen in the Superman universe, if that makes any sense. And even Superman, Lois, and John don't really remember what happened. They just remember the fight with Mxyzptlk or Mxyzptlk. I like calling him Mxyzptlk, damn it. It's a nice name.
Well, maybe they'll consider it.
I'm sure they might. But anyway, that's the theme for all the Superman books right now, is his fight with Mxyzptlk, except for Superman. Superman is going in a different direction. We'll get to that. We got Aquaman 77. What's up, Aquaman 77? I hated the New 52 Superman. I'm glad he's gone, erased from everybody's memory, and now we've got the original Superman, the real Superman, back. I'm glad, and I'm looking forward to where things are going. So I don't know if you're saying just that because of the two Supermen, but that was DC's way of kind of like tidying up the messy papers that were the Superman universe. And now we go into Batman issue number 21, lenticular cover. I got all the lenticular covers for this. I always love when a comic company does special covers. DC is known for their lenticular covers at cover price, because when Marvel does a lenticular cover, it's $100. So when DC does it at cover price, I'm a happy boy. Okay? I loved it when they did it for Forever Evil. I loved it when they did it for Future's End. And I love that they're doing it for the Button. So, Batman. Apparently there's this hockey game that goes on. We get to see Saturn Girl at the very beginning of the book. And she's screaming on that nobody could stop what's coming. hell is coming, the future, the Legion, everybody's going to be, everybody's going to be gone, and nobody's going to be able to save this guy that dies from a hockey game. You've got Batman, for some reason, watching the hockey game while he's examining the button, and we all know that Batman has Dr. Midnight's mask. And what happens is the button reacts to, I'm sorry, Dr. Midnight, Psycho Pirate. It reacts to Psycho Pirate's mask, and he contacts Flash because this is their investigation. Their investigation is about the button. Villains Month also. Oh, thank you. Villains Month also. Yeah. Well, that was the Forever Evil one. Justin was the Villains Month.
That was
so you got Batman and fighting Zoom. Zoom actually ends up showing up because we also saw in the last Flash issue that Zoom returned to the DC universe, and he ends up fighting Zoom. We all know that Flash is going to be there in a moment, in like a minute, so we get like this little timer at the bottom of each panel. And by the way, and I mentioned this, and Mike Spider-Slayer confirms it, notice the paneling in this book. I just want you guys to notice the paneling. This book is paneled, 9 panels on each page, reminiscent of what? What? I hear you out there. I hear your voices. What book had 9 panels in it just like this? Watchmen. Watchmen had 9 panels in it.
See? Yeah.
Just like this. And Batman gets the snot beaten out of him by Professor Zoom. Zoom finds the letter from Batman's dad in the Flashpoint and rips it up. And Batman's like, get out of my cave. Get out of my cave. And the minute counts down to 0. He's like, 1-0. And he's like, well, looks like we're going overtime. I love how Batman's like, well, crap. Overtime? And the fight goes on for like 1 more panel. And then Zoom looks at the button and gets teleported away. And then comes back. And then he's on fire. And then Flash shows up and he's talking about the hockey game and how he wasn't able to save the guy that died. And to be continued. I'm really loving it.
Is the back cover 3D also?
Oh, yeah, the back cover is 3D also.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I love where this book is going, and if you didn't want spoilers, I hope you did mute it because this is a review. We're going to talk about the book, and this book was a huge book. And by now, you definitely wouldn't go back. I really like where they're going with this. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the Flash issue this week, this Wednesday coming out. Batman is like every middle-aged man in his man cave. Yes, except Batman has skills and can beat up bad guys and can survive basically the apocalypse.
You could.
I don't think I could. Superman issue number 21, the mystery of Old Man Cobb, continues forward. So we've got Damian who's staying with the Kens. I gotta say, I love John's dream.
What was his dream?
John's dream of flying. And
Oh.
it shows him flying. And he actually looks older, too. I can't wait till they grow John just a tiny bit more and get him a little bit older. But anyway, we find Cobb. He's delivering milk, and you see him screwing with the dog with Crypto for some reason, which is bad because Crypto's a super dog. We find out that Cobb is connected to this weird guy. We don't even know who he is. He's in the shadows. So Cobb is apparently an extension of this person. Who is it? We'll find out, I'm sure, very, very soon. But we find out that he's the reason why John's powers are not manifesting. The milk is somehow messing with John's metabolism or whatever. We have Superman, Damian, and John looking for Batman, and then the squid attacks again. Superman's fighting the squid. The guy shows up in like ink form. No, it is not.
No, have you noticed that Superman's eyes have been like black? Like you don't really see his eyes.
Well, it's a shadow effect.
No, it has been for a couple of pages.
I don't know, but I can't wait to see who this guy is. This ink guy is. But anyway, they're fighting the squid. Superman won't kill it. He tries to contain it. What happens is it gets free, and John kind of uses his heat vision to stop the squid. Superman kind of gets mad at him for doing it, and because they got involved, and John used his heat vision. And Superman actually got yelled at. He's like, "I'm glad at least your son. I'm glad Superboy stepped in to do what you wouldn't do." And Superman figures where Batman might be, which is Dead Man's Swamp, and he tells Damian and John to kind of go home because he's upset that John disobeyed him or whatever. And then we get to see the girl again. And apparently the girl has powers. And she's telling John that, you know, he took away your powers. You know, he'll take away all the powers you've already got. He's going to keep us safe, whatever. So we're going to find out the secret finally about Old Man Cobb. Because now Superman's in Dead Man's Swamp. And we're going to finally see the face-off between Superman and Old Man Cobb. I'm interested to see, because obviously Cobb is not who he says he is. And obviously after this story arc, and we get rid of that disgusting, stupid milk that's been preventing John from developing his powers, we're going to start seeing some interesting powers manifest. And I know I've read a couple of little tidbits of solicitations here, there, and everywhere. I'm very excited to see when John starts developing his powers again. Edebar is like Kenny of the DC. Yeah, he keeps dying and coming back, dying and coming back. He's killed in the most graphic ways, and then he always ends up coming back. Yep, always does. Getting the X-Men vibe with that girl. I know, right? It felt kind of like Jean Greyish, right? Last book, reviewed it for Frontline, so I'll give you the skivvy. We've got Trinity, issue number 8. And this is now, I know I've been mentioning this throughout all the super books. This book is a glorified Superman telling Batman and Wonder Woman what happened in Superman Reborn. And he's also talking about this dream he has where it's the New 52 Superman fighting the old DC Universe Superman. And the New 52 Superman is fighting to get his life. Like, he's basically saying, you stole my life, you this and that. And Batman, he's telling this dream to Batman and Wonder Woman, because he says it feels like more than a dream. Tevye, you missed most of the show. You missed basically everything. We're on the last book now. So anyway, you have Superman explaining this dream. He's like, it feels like the New 52 Superman is fighting me to get his life back. And then Wonder Woman and Batman show up in the dream, and they're trying to stop them from fighting and saying that they have to work together. And then we get the page that I wanted to show when I did the solo review that I will show now, where Superman's like, something more shows up, and we've got all the iterations of Superman. Now, I want you to notice something. That's Superman with the trunks, but that's Superman with the trunks. However, that Superman with the trunks has the Superman Blue S. Was this supposed to be Electric Superman Blue, and at the last moment, DC decided to make an exact same Superman right here?
With the Blue S?
Yeah. That's the Superman Electric Blue S.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you notice, out of all the Supermen here, what's the one Superman that's missing? Electric Blue. We have every iteration of Wonder Woman, almost. We have every iteration of Batman, almost. But we do not have Electric Blue Superman. Did either of you guys get Royals? No, I'm not reviewing Royals. Inhumans and me have gone our separate ways, Justin. Sorry, man. I really didn't like the artwork either. So, finally, Superman explains the fight with Mxyzptlk and the connection with Oz a little bit. And Batman's like, well, we don't know exactly what's going on yet, so we're going to keep this between the three of us. And it causes a bit of an argument, and she's like, wait, stop. This is actually causing us to fight. So Superman's dream kind of is symbolic in a way. So now the three of them are going to be working together to find out more on Oz. And basically, just like the Super Family, when Oz attacks, he's going to reach out to Batman and Wonder Woman. And hopefully it won't cause a rift between Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman with the Justice League, that they're keeping this to themselves. But Batman's right. A contained situation is a situation that doesn't get out of hand. I'm really excited to see where this is going. So it's only Inhumans book I've ever I got. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm just not into Inhumans. But it's my it's nice in my pull list. I guess that's what you're saying. I stopped reading Inhumans. I liked Uncanny, but wasn't worth it. What happened to Superboy from the 90s? That's the hypothesis me and Jay and everybody on Frontline have are Superboy, Connor, Cassie, Wonder Girl, and we all know Tim is a prisoner of Mr. Oz. We think that Young Justice, the Young Justice 4, because Bart also, the original Impulse, are all prisoners of Oz, and when they break out, Young Justice is going to show up, and they're going to end up somehow tipping the scale towards the DC hero side against Dr. Manhattan. At least that's our prediction. I think it's true. I really do think that Young Justice are being held prisoners of Oz and Dr. Manhattan, and when they're freed, that's when the DC universe is going to slowly move even further back to their original traditional world. But did they kill the X-Men? What do you mean, did they kill the X-Men? I don't know who killed them. Nobody killed the
We're fine, tell you.
The New 52, Bart, does not. That was a different impulse, and I think they kind of wrote him off. When Rebirth happened, they made him disappear. Yeah, they're captive. Exactly. They killed him. Well, Cyclops is back, kind of. The original X-Men in a young form. The only storyline, they don't stay dead. Exactly. Nobody. Dead is never dead, especially if you're from Marvel or DC. They always find a way to bring you back. Even if it takes 10 years, they brought back Hal Jordan. Barry Allen was brought back. Dead. I mean, the only person that's ever stayed dead was Jean Grey. The original Jean Grey has stayed dead. But now we have young Jean Grey. Wolverine's dead. We got 4 Wolverines now.
Professor X.
We'll be back soon. I know Professor X will be back soon. Only a matter of time. Kurt was dead and he came back.
Then gets revenge on Cyclops.
No, Scott was possessed.
Mm.
The Terrigen Mist killed him. Yes, killed Cyclops, yeah. But anyway, guys, that's it for this week's Dark Avenger comic book review. We ran a bit more, but that's always an awesome thing. Thank you, everyone who's been in the comments with us. Michael, it's great meeting you. I think this is the first time you've been on a Dark Avenger comic book review.
Yes,
hopefully,
now we got another Michael.
Yep, Gene is coming back in Marvel Generations, apparently. There you go, also. Sadly, sales dictate when characters come back most of the time. Exactly, thus Eddie Brock. Captain Marvel predecessor is dead. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this is the first time, Michael. Hopefully you will be around tomorrow. We have Frontline Live. If you like movies and TV, Kat and Jay have Media Madness on You're My Clone.
Because we have the same name, I said another Michael. So many Michaels.
So we have also Media Madness on Wednesday, which is Kat and Jay, where they do TV and movies. So if you like that, it's great. And then if you'd like to come back and have a conversation with Michael and I, we do Dark Avenger Live every Friday at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We have tons of live shows, tons of reviews. So hopefully if you're new, if you're not subscribed, Michael, hopefully you'll subscribe and stay in touch with all of us. We love hearing new people. Aquamani, nice having you on as well, man. And we got Bob Ross. Thank you, Bob. We got Bob Ross from the grave who subscribed and liked this video.
I love your painting.
Thank you, Bob Ross. Nice. You are the man. I grew up watching you and loving your paint. I know you're not the real Bob Ross, but I still got to say it. Bob Ross, I grew up loving his artwork. I used to watch him all the time.
I was going to say, we're gonna make a little friend over here. And I'm gonna put a little
I've watched almost every single Bob Ross there ever was.
Same here.
Every single one. Pour one for Mr. Ross. Exactly. So here's to you, Mr. Ross. Here's to you. God bless you, and I know you're being blessed up in heaven. That was my childhood, watching Bob Ross paint. I can't paint to save my life, but watching that man paint, best hour to half hour of my life if it was on, twice or once. Best one. But thank you all for being, Michael's already subscribed. So Michael, I hope you pop in tomorrow for Frontline Live. We'll be talking a lot of news, our top 5s and everything. And also, like I said, Dark Avenger Live. Dark Avenger Live is all about the comments, so we will be doing that. If you want to pop in on Friday, so it's today, it's Tuesday, Wednesday for Kat and Jay's Media Madness, and then Friday for Dark Avenger Live. We hope you pop in. I love having people to talk to in the comments, and we love having people to talk to on Frontline Live. Frontline's a bit different, though. Frontline, we have a mixture of answering a couple of comments, but we're in the comments on Frontline Live, so we're answering you guys in the comments while we're doing the show. So it's a little different, but still the same. Thank you all so much for being here live with us tonight. For those of you watching this post-live, feel free to comment below your thoughts about any of the books we talked about here. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. I know there was another book that came out from Image this week. Didn't like the artwork. Rednecks issue #1. I know my friend Peter Barker recommended or talked about that book a bit. Didn't like the artwork. Didn't really fit for me. Plastic, like I said, I still need to put some soap in my brain after that one. It was fun. Hope to see you again. All right, Mike, it was fun having you on. It was fun having everybody else on. Loved having everybody here. Thank you all so much. Live, post-live, whenever you watch this, we appreciate everybody who watches each and every episode. We are officially going towards episode 390 next week. And on 390, there's only 10 episodes left until 400. It's going to be exciting times. We are Comic Frontline, by the way. We are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. We damn well try to be it each and every day of each and every week of each and every month of each and every year. Going on, I believe we're 3 years old now, almost. 3 or 4 years.
Well, we began 13, I think.
14, 15, 16, 17. 4 years. We're 4 years here.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. If you want more Frontline goodness, go check out comicfrontline.com. We got a lot of stuff going on there as well. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys soon for another video.
Later, everybody.
Take care and have a great night, everybody.